Hey Barry,
Hi, Don.
how you doing,
I
pal?
hear you, but I don't see you.
Okay, don't worry about seeing me. I see you, and you're on right now.
Okay,
Thank you very much for joining us today, pal. I
and
gave
thank you.
you.
First of all, I got to make sure I don't want you to get sick. So let me do this. Good. I sanitized the screen. Now you won't get sick.
Thank you,
You're
thank
welcome.
you. But I'm bummed. So I gave you about as full an interview as I could, outlining, your professorship and your architectural historianship and award-winning comedy writer, host of the Been There Done That Sunday nights on WOR Radio. Um, at this time, what don't you do?
Okay, first of all, I just wanted to say something. Frankie knows this. Uh, 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 about 30 years ago, I nearly died from cancer. It was caught in the next to last stage and spread to my lung and brains. I did tumor humor, and it saved my life, and I was cured. When I went to the hospital last weekend for a bleeding ulcer surgery, which was successful, I did the same thing. I used humor and it helped save my life again. So now I just want to do humor to cheer up your audience and to cheer up people to let them know that even times like this, just joking, uh, is good for the soul.
Please do. Fire away.
Okay, are we on now? Are,
You're
are we
on, pal.
recording?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, we're on live right now, buddy, and we're recording
Oh,
also.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah, we're
First of
ready to
all,
roll.
okay. First of all, I have to apologize. I didn't comb my hair, but you know what? It's spiky, so I want to scare off the coronavirus, which is a virus with spikes. So I had to do that. Secondly, you know what's very important now is cleanliness, keeping clean. And I just want to say politically, in between. I'm not a member of any political party. I like to be in the middle. I'm what you call an independent. So I'm telling friends of mine that even though it's white, the Ku Klux Klan mask does not protect yourself from coronavirus. So ditch it, get something else. And I just have to say, when I went in for surgery last week, uh, what I was told what was that well, I saw something on television. I saw Jimmy Carter is no longer the head of Habitat for Humanity. They now got ready for this Don Corleone, whose new motto is "Ditch the house, take the ventilator." That's you don't know that, but that's just happening now.
Holy
Secondly,
Moses.
yeah, really. I'm telling you, one thing, I had my ulcer sewn up last week, and I want to thank Lenox Hill Hospital. They did a terrific job. Now, I had a bleeding ulcer, but being an independent politically, I definitely do not want to be a bleeding heart liberal ever. Okay?
Right. Who would be?
Thank you. Thank you. The other thing is we have to watch out in the next election in Cook County. And I heard that Chicago is getting the coronavirus very bad. And in 1960, the election was almost stolen by dead people voting for the Democratic machine in that election. So let's just hope now, with all the record dead people coming this year, that they don't vote in this election in Cook County. That's very important. So,
We're probably gonna have to keep our eye on that county when the elections
yes,
come around
thank you.
this year.
The other thing, I know Frankie drives to work. Okay, so I have a question. Do you drive to work too? Because it's very important that you stay well.
Right now, Professor, my studio is in the house,
Good,
so
good.
everything's set up here, and I do not have to drive anywhere. I'm
Great,
quarantined with
great.
my
That's even
equipment.
better because I think things have gotten so bad for people trying to make a living that the squeegee people now are even using hand sanitizers on the squeegee and windshields. So you got to be careful. As a matter of fact, it's getting bad for another reason. Did you know now, just today, the Grand Cayman Islands issued a new report to make money. They are now um, uh, in the Grand Cayman Islands, they are now laundering money. Did you know that? But this time with Clorox. So even they're out for money now. It's very bad. And by the way, if people want to see Hamilton on Broadway, they don't have to see the show. They can go down to Wall Street and Broadway and see Hamilton in the Trinity Church graveyard. And speaking of patriotism, you ever hear Nathan Hale, who said, "I regret, but I have one life to give to my country"? Well, now, if he were alive today, he would say, "I regret that I have but one grandmother to give to my country." That's how bad things are.
So it does seem like, Prof, just to bring it back, and I mentioned to the audience before you came on that you provide me with plenty of fodder every day. Some days I don't have the delivery skills to get them into topics, but you're always there for us, and you're quite the funny guy. But you're
Thank you. And I,
also
I just I just want to say something else to you and your show. Okay? I may be a professor, I may have all these degrees, but you know something? I know nothing about finance at all, and I learned from you and Liquid Lunch. And and guess what? Derek makes me laugh with Man in the Street. God bless him. God bless Sarah, who does makeup, Chelsea, of course, Nico, everybody there. You're my friends, and I want you to stay well. That's the most important thing.
without a doubt, and we feel the same about you, pal. When you come to the studio, it's like you're coming home because everybody there, we treat everybody like family there. It's a lot of
It,
people. A lot of people have messaged me, on the side, saying that they're kind of missing. Even people who don't come on all the time, just people that come by, are telling me that they're actually missing coming by the studio. Just, some people like Manny and other friends just pop in
yeah,
every so often.
exactly.
You come by with Darren. A lot of people just come in because they know there's some camaraderie there. And we're actually, having, that's like another piece that's out of everyone's life because we had a little honeycomb going there where a lot of different people from all walks of life came. And I was learning something every day from all the different guests that were coming in, not when they were on there, when they got off, and we had a cocktail or hung out for a few minutes. And I missed that.
I want to just say something else about. I've written for Joan Rivers. I've written for Steve Ducey at House Party, who's now on Fox and Friends, and I've written for Maury Povich and whatever. And I've been in many green rooms. And while your green room isn't green, it has the best camaraderie, best spirit of any from any national talk show I've ever worked with, and it's an honor to work with you and your show. I hope we're all well and we can do it for many years. I just want to say two things about the future, and I think it's important. You got to look to the future. Plastic surgeons now are going to give up doing total facelifts from now on with masks. They're just doing eye lifts. Okay, so the world is changing. Purell just came out with a brand new uh, uh, high mark item to sell worldwide. It's Purell number 5, and it's coming from Paris. It's going to go all over the world. Plus, I just got off the phone with John Meacham, the great American historian, and Frankie will know. We've discussed this many times. Did you know that Frank Meacham just has a bachelor's degree from Southern University in Tennessee? Well, I heard, he told me now is the perfect time. He can't go anywhere, so he's going to study for a master's degree finally from a prestigious university. So people are becoming really motivated. And Sam Mendes, who did the movie 1917,
Yep.
he just told me over the phone. He said if the actors in that are well and the production company is well, his next big picture is going to be 1918, the year later, the Spanish flu epidemic.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
yeah, that's coming.
Wow.
That's going to be an inspiration.
So
So
some
anyway,
there
I'm
are
glad.
so there
Now
are
tell
actually some silver linings out there,
exactly,
Doc.
exactly. By the way, you look great. First of all,
I'm trying my
secondly,
best here.
uh,
You don't have
how's
to
how's
flatter me.
Sarah?
You're already on.
By the way, how's Sarah doing? She does makeup.
I think
She's
Sarah's
terrific.
doing okay, but no, no one's coming to work. That's what I'm saying. I'm doing my own makeup. I didn't even put on makeup today. I mean, she's an artist. I'm no artist. I might as well just go au natural. You know what they
But you know
say?
what? For a good-looking guy, I have in my will, should I die now, I want Sarah to do the makeup on my corpse. She's so good that's an inspiration. I live for that.
I thought you were going to say you were putting her in your will, but apparently, just
Actually, my will, listening to cryptocurrency on the show and everything, my will, if I follow through with your advice and everything, that will be worth something today. I am a professor who's learning from your show, and I think you're doing an absolutely great job. It's like no other talk show on the air, and I'm very proud to be associated with you and with everybody.
and you've been
Derek,
helping
and
me.
so tell me, is he? Are people knocking on Derek's window, and is he sticking out a microphone? Or we're going to have to wait. We're going to have see. It's something to look forward to. Getting back to that, right?
Got it. Yeah, 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 exactly. No, listen, all of us have a lot to look forward to, but I think as much as I was against this from the beginning, we all got to do our part. We got to stay away from each other. Otherwise, it's just going to get worse.
And you know what I'm doing now? This is my secret. I want to share with you and the audience. Okay. Oh, I am not bathing and I'm not using any deodorant. So when I take a subway car, okay, if anybody else should be in it, they take one look at me. I'll slouch on the seats. I slouch a little bit. They take one whiff of me and they run to the next car. I call that antisocial distance. To everybody out there, if you take the subway, do not bathe, do not use deodorant, and never shave. And that includes women too.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know how many women are shaving, but I guess, yeah, I mean, if you stink, they probably won't want to come near you anyway.
Exactly,
It's like when you
exactly.
see homeless
So
people on the train, they stink, they're dirty, and everybody just like tries to stay away from them. So maybe,
see,
maybe you're
see,
onto
and
something.
you never know where the secret for survival is coming from. And by the way, I just have to tell you, this is the first time I didn't dress up to be on your show. This I got this from Michael S. Schmidt from the New York Times. He never goes on television for an interview wearing a tie and jacket or a sport coat. He wears this, and it's not navy like his, but he sent it to me. So this is my Michael S. Schmidt look. Hi, Michael.
Wow. So, Barry, why don't you, aside from being a great humorist and keeping it light for our audience and stuff, you're also a travel expert, an architectural historian. Why don't you talk to our audience about, things that they can find on your podcast? Been there, haven't done that. And other videos and stuff that you've done that people are looking for things to do. You take them on tours of the things that they need to know. Talk about that a little bit.
Okay, sure. First of all, I think right now, travel doesn't exist as we know it. I think when things get back to normal, I think people will start traveling in their backyard, for instance. There's one town, I know that Nico is from New Jersey. There's one town called Morristown where my brother Bob lives. And I said, it's historic. They keep on having great lectures there. It's wonderful. They have the Ford Mansion where George Washington stayed the winter, I think it was 79 or 81 of the 18th century. And there's so much to do in small towns across America that when things become normal again, I would love to talk about, for instance, across from the Iowa caucus is Galena, Illinois, the home of President Grant, the general in the Civil War. There are so many great sites around the country that people, as soon as things loosen up, will be able to get into a car and see local sightseeing. Going to Europe, going to Asia, okay, that'll happen later, but right in your own neighborhood. And when things straighten out, I would love to come on and report from around the country of great places we can see in our own country. And some of them are right next door. Can I give you one example?
Yeah, well,
Uh,
Barry, I mentioned before you came on in your introduction that many people don't know, even here in New York, there are some amazing places with some great presidential history. What about that?
Oh, sure. On Lexington and 29th Street is one of my favorite markets. It's a Greek market, and it's the home of Chester A. Arthur, one of our nothing presidents who happened to be a decent guy. Frankie likes him. There's also just 6 blocks from Bloomingdale's is the Abigail Adams Smith House, which was a hotel. It was owned by John Adams' daughter, Abigail Adams Smith. In fact, it's historic. Did you know she had a mastectomy, one of the first successful ones in the United States there? And they didn't even have anesthesia, they used rum. So, in fact, near NYU is Cooper Hewitt, which is Cooper Union. And that's where Abraham Lincoln spoke in the basement. If it weren't for that place, we would not have had Abraham Lincoln as president. So, in fact, they're the Roosevelt homes, as I mentioned once. There are just so many places. There's also Alexander Hamilton. He's got a home called the Grange in northern Manhattan, which is another wonderful site. In fact, when Broadway resumes, people should go to see a matinee of Hamilton after seeing Hamilton's The Grange, the home in Upper Manhattan. I mean, in fact, New York, Manhattan is an island, but it's an island where many people here don't even know the great things to see. In addition, 350 Broadway with the most wonderful show with people passing by. I remember the Today Show with people passing by, but you have your own crowd. And whenever I go to the studio, I feel like I'm home.
Yeah. Oh man, you know what, Barry? You're the best. And this guy, he's been with us and part of us and friends with us long before there even was a liquid lunch. And ever since then, he's been an even better friend. Thank you so much for joining us, Barry. I really
Thank
appreciate
you
it.
very much, and God bless you, your family, Derek, his family, everybody, all my friends, and of course, Frankie, who is absolutely the best, my former student.
Wow. All right, that's Professor Barry Goldsmith, man of many talents, architectural historian, comedic writer, and also the host of the Been There, Haven't Done That podcast. Thank you, Barry.
Thank,
Talk to you soon.
thank you, and survivor of the hospital last week. That's my main accomplishment.
All right, he made it out of the hospital even last week.